Hi guys, so in this video I wanted to make a brief update of this planted scape which we set up about 3.5 weeks ago. So it's time for an update. So this is a 60-liter Dennerli Nano Cube. We wanted to create here a planted scape mostly with two types of plants. So we have here I think 6 species of Cryptocoryne, some small Cryptocorynes in front and some larger species in the back. We also have here 4 species of Echinodorus plants, Amazon sort plants. This is Aquatica and it's a short Echinodorus plant. It's not going to grow taller, and taller Echinodorus plants are in the back. There is Echinodorus argentiniensis and Echinodorus ocelot green. This is Echinodorus rainy, and it's a shorter plant, so it's not going to grow too large, but it has really nice red color leaves. This is Liliopsis brasiliensis. It doesn't seem to grow really fast at this moment, and behind it there is another interesting plant. I can't remember its name. So ever since we started the scape plants, they have been growing relatively slowly, and well, they seem to be growing well. They do grow, but they don't grow particularly fast, and we also have some issues with hair algae. Here you can see some hair algae on the leaves. It's not too bad, and it's not a disaster yet, but we'll see how it goes. I do weekly water changes here, about 50% every week. I'm also using CO2 injections here. I'm gonna show you the bottle. This is a Tropica plant growth system 60 because it's designed for 60-liter tanks, and this is a 60-liter tanks. So it's not exactly a pressurized CO2 system. You have to manually add a certain amount of CO2 into this container here. So depending on the size of your tank, you manually add every day with the start of the lighting cycle a certain amount of CO2. And that's probably one of the most inconvenient things about this particular CO2 system, is that you have to do things manually every day, and if you forget it, that's probably not a good thing. But because this is a small tank, I didn't feel like we need to have a larger CO2 system here. It also has LED lights on top. These are really cheap All Ponds Solutions lights. I don't even remember how many watts are there, but they're quite basic. I think it has some blue and white LEDs, which is quite okay for growing plants. I used to have a 9-hour lighting cycle here, but now I cut it down to 8-hour lighting cycle because I felt that 9 hours is a bit too much, and it actually encourages algae growth rather than the plant growth, so I cut it down. We also have here a Hydro Reef hang-on back filter. I have a review of this filter in a separate video. You can see the link here. It's actually really nice hang-on-the-back filter. You can see it's designed for reef tanks, so it kind of creates all these bubbles and all this movement of water, and it's filled with alpha grog for biological filtration. I don't really need biological filtration in a planted tank, but because it's a new tank, it's a fresh setup, it's good to have some biological filtration here. But later on I will probably replace this biological media with mechanical media, which will make more sense. Every day I'm adding here liquid carbon, this Easy Carbo from Easy Life. I'm not advertising it, I'm just showing you what I'm using here. I don't see any effect so far in this particular tank. I do hope it will have any effect on the plant growth, but and yes, I have a separate video reviewing this particular product. And weekly after each water change I'm adding these fertilizers. This is a kind of a general professional plant fertilizer. It's a mix of different fertilizers, both macro and micro, which I find a bit easier than adding both micro and macro separately. It's kind of a mixture of both. And it seems to be a good fertilizer because I've used it in my previous tanks, and I had some noticeable plant growth, so probably it works well. We'll see. So it's still a very fresh tank, and I'm not really happy with the plant growth at this moment, because plants do grow, but they grow relatively slowly, and I did expect them to grow much faster because I'm doing all these fertilizers, CO2, bright light, and so on. So the conditions are perfect for the plant growth, but so far we have really limited plant growth. We'll see how it goes. If another month passes by and we don't see really lush vegetation in here, I'll probably will be thinking about remaking this tank into something different. I will also say a couple of words about soil, about substrate. So we have here a layer of coconut fiber right on the bottom. You can see it better from the other side of the tank actually. There's more of it here. So it acts as a fertilizer. It's quite nutrient rich substrate. It's not designed for aquariums, it's not designed for fish tanks, it's actually designed for planting garden plants and for maybe horticulture or something like that. But I've used it in my previous planted tanks, and I've noticed a difference in terms of plant growth when I use it and when I don't use it. So I think it works as a very good fertilizer for plants. Then we have a mixture here of tetra soil and natural river sand. So I've tried to find a soil which is brownish, so it will be the same color as natural river sand, because most of the aquarium soils are actually black, or they're kind of a dark brown, and it doesn't really fit with the natural sand, but this one seems to work quite well in terms of color. We have here a 100-watt heater, and we keep temperature at about 25 degrees Celsius. So now it's a time to talk about fish, and probably you've already noticed that our new Cockatoo apisto male is really active. He's kind of always there, and it's actually a great showpiece fish for smaller tanks. He's still very young. We've got him just about a couple of weeks ago, and there is a video of unpacking him and another fish that we bought. And before we had here a solo Cockatoo apisto female, and they actually paired up, so they spawned, and female is currently protecting eggs in that small pleco cave that we have there. And we also have here two small bristlenose plecos just to control algae and just to keep the tank clean, and that's all in terms of population. But this Cockatoo apisto pair, they're certainly the stars of this tank, and they're really colorful and very active fish. Yes, I can't have more than two of them in one tank because they will fight, but I don't think this tank is big enough for more than two of them, so that's how it is for now. So I hope you like this video. If you have any ideas on how to make plants grow faster in this tank, or how to change something for better in this tank, do leave them in the comment section, and I'll see you in the further videos, and Happy New Year!
Can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas time.